What do you mean, you people?
It's pretty cool down here most of the time, so
Yeah.
I can see that. No, there's no direct sunlight. It's all cement walls and shit. We're in the basement.
yeah, and it's right against that, concrete.
Listen to those cartoon rap songs.
And then you burped.
No, it was. I left the volume on.
Oh, gotcha. Skibbity boop.
We're calling it Trevor Sucks again.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, fine.
So, do you think Trevor's gonna have a rebuttal?
Oh, I'm sure
Probably
once he
work.
sees it, he'll give me shit at work. That's for sure. And
I'll
that's
show.
fine,
I'll
I'm
show
here
up
for
at
it.
your job with a giant poster board sign that just says "Trevor fears me."
Actually, Trevor has asked to be on this show a number of times. Like he always
Yeah,
gives
because
me.
he never thought you'd actually call him out on it, and then as soon as you called him out on it, he's like, "No, no, no."
Is this the equivalent of like when a chick pulls your hoe card? Where it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I want to fuck that chick. I want to fuck the chick. And then she looks you dead in the face and goes, you want to fuck me right now? And you go, ba 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 ba, you know? So that could be what it is.
Truth.
Because I've had that happen to me. So
Did you fuck?
a couple times yes, a couple times no.
Fair.
I blew it once. Like, I blew it one time real bad. Actually, twice real bad. Once I could, one of those 2 times I can kind of make an excuse for. The second one, I can't. I simply just, I dropped an easy pass, basically. I had it in the bag, and I fucked it up completely just by being a weirdo. Not like
Happens.
not like a creepy weirdo, just by being like a shy kind of like, holy fuck, this is happening. I don't do you know. That's why I fucked it up the second time.
Do you still get scared of pussy?
Scared of it? I mean, yeah, a little bit. Not gonna lie. I'm
I'm just curious. Like, I'm not judging you.
and it's not them, it's me, because I get wrapped up in it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no, yeah. That's
big
why I
time.
asked if you were traumatized.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, I'm so happy to get it when I get it that I'm just like, and I fucking run right by every red flag. Just run right by. I know they're there. I don't care. Like, and then I see one that's just too big to ignore, and then I got to deal with it, and then eventually that blows the whole thing up. But like, I don't know. That divorce fucked me up more than I would. I mean, I talk about it a decent amount, but like it was a long time ago. But that divorce really fucking did a number on me. Like, it's made it incredibly hard to date for me.
I would legitimately see a therapist for that for you.
Yeah, I think I might.
You should.
I think I might do
Does
that.
your place of employment offer any kind of mental health benefit?
I believe that there are
I
some
think
in there, but it's
through our-
with any of them. The biggest problem is that so many with mental health benefits, they'll give you like 6 sessions.
Yeah,
Yeah, but if 6 sessions can help him figure out this issue, that's completely helpful.
yeah.
For sure, no disrespect, but if it's like something that requires more, you go from being like $20 out of pocket to like $200 out of pocket, and it
Yeah.
visits 7 and onward for the rest of the calendar year.
You don't have to go for the rest of the calendar year.
But if you need it, I fully agree. Like if it's a 6-session problem, fucking giddy up.
Yeah.
But the other big issue is that when you first take your step into therapy, whatever it is, a lot of times your first like 3-4 sessions are just finding a right fucking therapist.
Yeah.
The first one you'll be like, this person is not for me. And that happens a lot. So it's just something to be cognizant of, is like when you look at the
Yeah, but like the way that you phrase this, James, and I know this is not what you mean at all because I know you better than this, but the way you phrase it, you almost make it seem like it's not worth looking into therapy because of these drawbacks.
No,
And
not at
I'm
all.
saying you can benefit from therapy.
Yep.
Why would you be like, but this is a negative, this is a negative, this is a negative?
asked-
Why can't you just support the idea that people can benefit from therapy?
I do, and you asked me a different question, was does your insurance at
Yeah,
work cover
yeah.
that? And I said yes, but this. So it only covers it a little bit. That's
And
where that
but
comes from.
that
Because
is
you
a
asked
substantial
you asked that
start.
question. I didn't
and
say
that's fair.
And I least of all would ever say therapy is not the right choice.
But
Considering
you
what
gave
else
a
I
lot
do.
of instant reasons to be like weary of it, though.
It was
and
more-
that's not what someone considering it needs to hear.
That's more of a commentary on the inequities of our medical system than it is
And I get
anything
that.
else.
I know that you're not in charge of any of that, James.
Yeah, but
But it's still it makes it daunting to someone that's like just considering looking into it.
I'll tell you what I did.
yeah.
And
What's up?
there's my primary doctor suggested going through this organization called Sondermind.
the hell's that?
It's there it is. Sorry.
So I don't
Sorry
know
everybody. New
why,
mics
I don't
today.
know why I did that.
It's new mic night tonight, and
Yeah.
I'm still working out some of the bugs. So if you hear some pops and hissing, like anytime I go anywhere near touching this rig in front of me,
Yeah.
just understand that we'll fix it soon. Sondermind, they have only ever charged me $30 a visit. I have definitely used it well more than my insurance would pay for.
Yeah.
So it's $30, and I went online, filled this thing out. A bunch of different people called me
Yeah.
and had like a free kind of interview over the phone to see, is this the type of person I wanted to get involved with?
Yeah.
And so that worked out well for me. Yeah, I was just doing it again.
Okay.
I don't know.
was trying to,
a lot of it's mine.
I was trying to silently cue to you that it was happening.
Oh, I'm well aware. I've just
Okay.
chosen to ignore it
Fair enough.
because otherwise it'll drive me insane. But I had good luck with them. The girl that I'm meeting with, after I talked to like 3 or 4 people on the phone, I was like, you know what? This one seems like more my speed.
Yeah.
Just told
No,
her what my
'cause-
issues were right
yeah.
off the bat. Like, this is where my issues are going to come from. Gave me the best answers in response. I was like, all right.
Yeah, but like, dude, it's like I can't fucking shake this shit. I can't shake it. It's fucking weird. Like dude, it's been so long, and I know it's been a stupid amount of time for me to be holding on to this shit. I understand that, but I just won't. It's like I have a spot of tar on me that I can't reach.
It's a conditioned response.
yeah.
The problem
It's
is
weird.
what's fucking you up right now
Yeah.
is you know that it's something you need to deal with,
Yeah.
but you don't know how to deal with it.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
And I'm telling you, man, therapy will help.
It will show me the way.
And here's what I recommend to anyone looking into therapy. By all means, like, do what, answer what the therapist asks you or whatever.
Yeah.
But pay attention to, like, what they're trying to accomplish. That way you can understand how it works, and eventually you'll get to the point where you can replicate that process without a therapist there to ask you those questions.
Gotcha. Bango. Yeah, I'm not.
I feel like
yeah.
a lot of people start therapy and they treat it like going to the chiropractor. Like, oh, I have to do this every Wednesday for the rest of my life now, because there's always going to be something I have to complain about, or I'm malcontent about, or I'm just upset about. And it's not the case, man. These people don't want to hear your problems for the rest of your life. Most people that are therapists are in it to help you become a better person, not to milk you for $60 every other week while you complain about you have too many unread emails.
And I think the most important thing when you're with a therapist is being honest about yourself in a way that you may not even realize you've been dishonest.
Yeah.
Like, what are you lying to yourself about?
Yeah.
Don't
lie to your therapist. You're just wasting everyone's time.
correct.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
be brutally honest. Like, the woman that I
Yeah.
do it with, since it started right before the pandemic, it's always been virtual, and it always will be, just because she's Durango or something. But like, I'll tell her dirty shit.
Oh.
Like, it's been a rough week. My cock was really hurting. Like, and I think it's because of this. It's like I was jacking off like way too much on Monday because it's important. Because if you're doing that, that's dopamine release. So you're doing that fundamentally for a reason. It's not just because you need, like, if there's plenty of other ways to get it. It's just easiest path. So it's like, I'll tell her anything.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way she will know what my issues may be.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm not. It's not like I'm. It's not like I'm like trying to be like wishy-washy whether or not I'll get some, but like help with that shit. But like, I thought I could just like, eventually we'll all just be. I'm saying time heals wounds and shit like that. And it's like,
No, you still have to address those issues.
like fuck.
Well,
You have to address why it hurts you. You have to address, because it's not just that divorce. It's something that led up to that also.
Well, I mean, it's the trust shit. I just don't feel like I can trust a lot of people. That blows. It's not a fun place to be. I'll be honest with you. Like, I don't trust people that I should trust. That's how bad it is. That I should have zero issues trusting. I still am like, I don't know. In the back of my head.
Right.
And that's fucking not a good place to be.
See, but that's the thing is like the time that
Yeah.
you thought it's like, time heals all ills or whatever that
Yeah, that
adage
old
is.
fucking- yeah.
Really what it is that you get past the anger point that is clouding your reason
Yeah.
to the point that you are now and probably have been where you become self-aware. This is what's going on with me. It's from this trauma.
Yeah.
And I can't seem. That's when it's like, well, I didn't just roll my ankle. I fucking broke my leg. And
Yeah.
I realize that now because the pain from the ankle has gone away, but I still hurt in a weirdly different way.
Yeah.
I should go to the doctor.
Yeah.
I have a weird question. At what point does someone become self-obsessed? Like legitimately, I'm asking, and I'll explain why.
Yeah, yeah.
So Hamill was explaining like what he's going through and how to try and figure it out.
Yeah.
And in my brain, I was like, okay, this is the most feasible answer for Hamill to get the best result that he's trying to seek this time. And I gave him that answer. And then, like, it spurned another conversation. And then my brain instantly was like, all right, that's done. What is the next thing we got to fix on us? I took the time to give Hamill an answer that I felt was an adequate answer.
Yeah.
And hopefully it helps or whatever.
Yeah, it does.
But then instantly my brain was like, all right, that's not my fucking problem anymore. How do we deal with this? Is that me being self-centered, or is that me just dealing with what I got to deal with?
I don't think self-centered would be how I would look at that.
That sounds more like task-oriented. To be honest with you. Like, okay. That's
Well,
done.
it's weird. Like, I've noticed as I'm progressing in certain areas or whatever, that there are people in my life that are just not progressing anymore, and I can either stay where I'm at and just handicap myself, or I can keep moving forward and hope that those people catch up with me again in the future.
I mean, there's definitely
And
that.
I find my circle getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and I don't know if it's because less people are able to keep up with me, or because I've alienated that many people in a quest to try and fix myself just religiously.
Or if you've got, look, for sure, especially when in a group of friends, when you have somebody that you've maybe had dialogues with, gotten them to talk, and you should be looking this way. I try not to give advice, but try to ask questions and get answers out of them. But I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's like if me going and hanging out with them as part of my larger group of friends, and they are just stagnant, and it's literally painful for me to be around them because you're talking about shit that I just cannot relate to. You can grow out of a friendship. Anybody can.
That's happened.
I mean, that's not.
That's-
I wouldn't even
yeah.
call that self-centered. It's just you're gonna end up having. Eventually, it's gonna ebb and flow. So you're dwindling and dwindling. It's gonna grow and grow because you're gonna run into people that are like, okay, you're a little more on my wavelength, in whatever way that means. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So I don't know that I would stress that or look at that as being self-obsessed or self-centered. It's at the end of the day, every human should do what is right for them to the greatest of their fucking ability. And hopefully that involves other people, but it doesn't mean it does.
Yeah.
And I feel that depends on your ambition, more or less.
Fair.
Yeah.
I mean, right. I mean, if you just want to shed the fat and, pursue a different, that's why they become monks. They're all in pursuing a similar level of enlightenment.
I mean, I don't want to go that far. I still enjoy carnal pleasure and dumb shit like trucks without exhausts and whatnot. you know what I mean?
Exhaust. Well, I mean, I don't know, sometimes, because I moved around a lot as a kid. I would always have, friends, really good friends, and then fucking all of a sudden, whoop, we split up, and I'm somewhere else now, and, you know what I'm saying? That's why, they're in your life, and you know what I'm saying? They're not always going to be, it's very weird,
Sure.
It's like in Finding Nemo when, when the turtle's in the fucking jet stream. That's how I see life, basically, is who's ever with you in that jet stream is that you're cool. But at some point, eventually, either you or the person that you're talking to is going to, split off. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's just part of and it's not like a negative. It can be a negative thing sometimes, but sometimes it can just be, not a positive, but like a fucking like, all right, well, I mean, have a good trip,
I mean, there's plenty of people that I wouldn't say fall into my immediate circle that I would attribute to exactly what you're describing, but I still touch base with them every once in a while.
Yeah.
Definitely people I still invite to a party, because at a party when there's 100 some people in this fucking place, like I'm just gonna be interacting with no conversations getting too deep, no perception of anybody is gonna go further than it's a fucking party.
Yeah.
So, and I'll interact with those people, just, hey, how you doing? How's it going? It can be like once every 6 months, but I still go back to those people even though we've been on those divergent paths. Like, not somebody I hang out with as much as I used to.
I think I only have like 2 pre-comedy friends left.
Yeah, you start shedding friends like crazy once you start doing comedy. Like, yeah, that's one thing I definitely.
Why is that?
Different wavelength. That's why.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the people that I was friends with never believed that I was actually going to try and do this. Like, they thought it was going to be like, a passing phase.
Right.
And then when all of a sudden I've been doing it for 4 years and I was getting better and better at it progressively, like, a lot of people just quit paying attention, man. It's weird. I don't know if they just don't want to see someone shine or if, like, I don't know. With the people that were, like, always there for me when I was into dumb shit, as soon as I was doing something productive, they were like, oh, well, you're not doing dumb shit anymore?
Yeah.
Whatever, I'm out.
See, the interesting part is that at least a small number of my early friends would look at me the exact opposite way. Like, the same way, but for the exact opposite reason. Oh, you're going to go do dumb shit? Like, I've worked this hard to become, a master of industry or whatever. And I was like, cool, your goals are different than mine.
Yeah.
I still talk to them, but
Yeah.
it's like, I'm not going to buy a 5-acre property in Greenwich, Connecticut and, have a big family and work a job in the oil industry. Like, that's just not the path that I'm on. You do podcasts, you get that sort of derogatory tone. I'm like,
Oh, yeah. Imagine dude, I get more respect saying that I deliver pizza than I get saying I do stand-up comedy.
that's so fucking weird.
Pizza is at least honest, apparently. I don't know.
I have the opposite. Where like, my mom tells all my family that I'm doing it right, and they'll like ask me shit like, "So you making like a lot of money?" Or like, "You famous? How famous are you?" Like they'll give you like, and I'm like, dude, I'm like a veteran, basically open micer / semi-pro comic in Denver. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I'm making some money. It's like a good side hustle, basically, as far as money wise. What I'm making from it for money, but like it's my thing. It's my fucking thing that I do that keeps me fucking sane. Like,
It goes beyond simply like fame and fortune. Sometimes it's just like, I need that for me.
Yeah.
This is a thing I do for me.
Yeah.
Also, since we're on the topic, great fucking showcase on Saturday. I went down and anybody that listens to this that didn't go down, for shame.
Yes.
It was absolutely fantastic. The three comics, Mo, Mandy, and Shanae.
Yeah.
I mean, just murderers row. They absolutely killed it. I had my head on the table laughing so hard at many times throughout that. It was fantastic. I think you put something wonderful together.
When I booked that, I wanted to get female comics, right? Because like the lady who runs it uses a woman on it. But I also didn't want to like just pick just random, just like, oh, I'll pick, I wanted 3 fucking great comedians. That was the thing, and those were that was the standard. So I've known Mo for a while. Like, she's fucking did stand up in New York. She's pretty well veteraned. Mandy's fucking, every time I see her, she's hilarious. She's been nothing but nice to me. And fucking Shanae Ross, I've known her for years. She's fucking awesome. So like, it was a no-brainer. It was all three of them were fucking no-brainers.
It was a fantastic showcase. I mean,
yeah, I loved it. It was great.
Everybody killed.
Yeah, it was great. The next one's going to be interesting. I got to figure it out. I haven't figured it out yet.
So anyway, I just wanted to insert that since we hadn't
Yeah.
called it out on the show. And any of those three that we just talked about are always welcome in here.
Yeah,
I learned, at least from my perspective, I don't know, I haven't talked to Bear about it. I know Hamill and I have briefly discussed it, but when Molly sat in a few weeks ago, I actually kind of dug having a slightly different energy in the room, and I'm like, I'm not exactly, in the old radio adage, I'm not looking for a hole that is like here to control the rowdiness of the guys. I just want somebody that can participate, but also brings a slightly different energy and perspective. And her sitting on mic, I was just like, why haven't we done this? And maybe it's just because we've been so like, it's been a very masculine show for as long as we've done it.
Yeah.
Oh no, we had a show with 4 adult males doing adult male conversation.
And
How will we ever survive?
And I'm not suggesting that we don't have that, but I'm not suggesting that we have a person in that seat every week.
Yeah.
But it's something we should, I liked it. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
So
I'm not opposed to it as long as they're not like just fun succubuses, then we're fine.
well, see, that's when that starts to
that goes for
happen.
anybody, man or woman.
That's when
doesn't matter.
James slowly lowers the pot, and they like. I need a thing where it makes them. They think they're still talking,
Yeah.
but it's like, no, get out of here with that shit.
I mean, I imagine you know who you invite on the show.
Yeah, fair.
You just don't invite douchebags to the show.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Exactly.
James, someone's going to suck, and I want a way to fix it instantly without their knowledge. That's like a control freak issue, buddy.
And I very rarely exercise this, but I don't know. See, I think
No, I get it. I've only seen you exercise it maybe 4 times in the, 3 years we've been doing this?
Yeah, that sounds probably right.
But you are definitely that guy that loves to be like, I've got this gun. Don't make me draw this gun.
This
You
is why
very rarely draw the gun, but it's always like, hey, did you see the fucking gun?
you're right, which is why
Are
I
you
don't
aware
have
of the
a
gun?
pistol because I'd brandish the shit out of that.
I run the mic control. I can mute anyone at any time.
Part of
Have
it
you
comes from
seen the gun?
one of the shows that one of the radio shows I used to listen to, and I think it was a New York exclusive, but they were which is Star and Buck Wild. They were on 97.1, which was the big Hot 97, the big hip hop station. But their morning show, you can fuck Howard Stern, fuck Opie and Anthony.
Yeah.
These motherfuckers were crazy as fuck and did whatever. And like, if somebody just started saying something that Buck Wild did, like, shut his mic off, turn that fucking mic off, and they just pot him down. He's like, now you stop and think about what you did, and I'll put it back up. Like, he had that, and he did it really humorously, like it worked. But I think they made it on air for like maybe 3 years before they got fired.
Oh,
For
really?
saying some dumb shit.
Oh,
I think it was about like Katrina.
Oh, fuck.
Like, it was just bad, and they were just like, yeah, you're done. But it was like a few years of absolute magic was that show.
Dude, talk radio back in the fucking early 2000s was
Late 90s, early 2000s
was fucking the
great.
best. It was so good. And then they ruined it with FCC regulations and all kinds of shit like that. And
I don't know, man. Was talk radio ever really that great, or
Oh.
are you just nostalgic for an era?
no,
I still listen
dude,
to
I would be,
shows from
I
back
would,
then.
I would pull into
this
my
day.
to my
I
park.
feel like that's the same thing as listening to music that was only made between like 92 and 98.
Fair, but I'll listen to. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong, but like
Yeah.
I listen to Opie and Anthony shows, like going back to like mostly the satellite years, but even I have every show they ever did on terrestrial radio on a hard drive around here because like it was that good. It was fucking funny. It was quick. Taught me a lot about how to do this kind of
Yeah.
shit. But it's just, I mean, I listened to the Box of Cocks today, and if you know, you know.
But like, yeah, but like also like it spawned guys like Kid Chris.
That's the problem with Opie and Anthony fans.
What's that?
If you know, you know.
Yeah,
You know what? I've never lived in a city where Opie and Anthony were on the air. I don't give a fuck about satellite radio. So to subject me because I'm not exposed to something to act like you're superior, that's douchey. And that's what Opie and Anthony fans do because they feel like they discovered Bill Burr. We discovered Patrice O'Neill. I get that they were on the Opie and Anthony show, but either Opie or Anthony discovered Patrice O'Neal and put him in that facet.
Oh, I
the
agree.
fans did no fucking such thing. But you guys act like assholes. You're worse than fucking Yankees fans, and now I understand why Jake hates them. If I never hear Opie and Anthony once, I'll be perfectly happy. Because
Probably.
you've blown them so far out of proportion with just your like insane love thereof that I'm like, it'll never amount to what James has projected it to be.
You're 100%
It
right.
is now the big fucking Lebowski, and I'm just going to say it now. Opie and Anthony, I know you're listening. Suck my dick.
I know
I absolutely
Opie's
agree with
probably
everything you
listening,
said.
actually.
The reason, yeah, right. The reason I said you know is because I don't. If I explained it, it's like explaining a joke where you haven't heard the joke, and me be like, and the joke. It's like me trying to tell one of your
You
bits.
did explain it, and then you threw in, if you know, you know.
I just
I
said,
understood that it was an inside joke that anyone would understand. Anyone with a thought of mind that has like context got that. And then you had to be like, if you know,
I'll
you
ta-
know.
You know what? I'll take that one on the chin. That was just me being fucking cunty. Fair. I
But
accept.
That's Opie
I
and
accept.
Anthony fans across the spectrum. And I don't know if it's because you're all based from the East Coast.
That could be it.
I don't know if it's because
That's
they're
probably
a
it.
super douchey people. But you guys are all assholes about it. And I don't think that you are an asshole in general. But when it comes to that subject, you're a fucking cock goblin.
We are kind of like hipster like radio dudes. Like, nah, man, it's fucking was better. Blah, blah. You know what I'm saying?
But I listen
Yeah.
to a lot. Like
I mean, I am that bad though. I am for sure.
Opie and Anthony are the one that kind of lasts for me, mostly because I can listen to their old stuff. It's really hard to find like old Howard stuff. They kind of that's been buried. Like nobody thought to be recording it. The Star and Buckwild stuff, I've been looking for years to find some of their shows, and I can't because of how hard I laughed at certain points. And I was like, I want to go back and see, like, 15 years later, James, is it still fucking funny?
Yeah.
Probably not.
I
And
know.
I hate to admit it, but it
You
falls
may-
into that conversation we were having about soundtracks in the first hour.
Right.
The Crow soundtrack, in its time, was amazing. And nostalgia around it is still a draw. But to actually, like, pull it up and listen to it in my truck, I'm like, oh, the fuck is this so angry for? It doesn't apply to my universe now.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair. No,
So you
100%.
just like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like people just hold on to old shit because that makes them feel more comfortable than exploring new shit.
No, and the thing is I only really listen back to that when, like, I've exhausted all my new shit, like, all the stuff that I now listen to, because I still do listen to a lot of podcasts and a lot of, like, talk radio. Like, it is what I primarily listen to. It is exactly how my brain works. Like, The Bonfire, that's a relatively new acquisition for me to get into that universe, but I'll tell you what, Dan Soder,
Yeah, he's hilarious.
Colorado native, and Big J. Okerson, there is a chemistry there that is unfucking believable. I don't even know. Like, that show is 2 hours of that show flies by like this does for us. Like, it's like, fuck, it's been an hour already. Like, I'll be
Yeah.
like, it's over? Fuck. I feel like it just started because that's how well they fucking, like, just have it. And I
Plow
like,
through.
I just listened to people and I was like, oh, that one sounds cool. Right down that hole. I'll do that with almost any talk show. If it's good enough and it's not NPR-esque like the other one that I produce, 'cause I can I'll listen to it because I have to, but I won't go back and listen to those. I'll go back and listen to this show.
Has a bit like a. This is Nora Glass. This is NPR.
Have you
News."
heard the beginning? It's me.
Yeah. It is very monotone.
The topics discussed here, many listeners might find challenging, traumatic, or triggering.
Viewer. Is it
Oh,
viewer?
God, your corporate podcast blows.
It's what I was requested. Even had Michael do a voiceover for it. Like, it's literally, it sounds like an NPR podcast because that's what I was asked to produce.
Hey.
So I did.
Fair. And that's the one that pays for us to do this. So, like, God bless
To
them.
some
Yeah.
greater or lesser degree. Yeah. I mean, basically, I would say that these new mics in front of us were largely paid by that.
Yeah. Thank you.
And I'm sure someone benefits from the content itself.
Oh, yeah.
Even if it's just the people telling the story being able to get it off their chest.
Oh, no, we get lots of comments, actually, from people around the world because that one gets a lot of traction.
Oh,
yeah.
wow, okay.
It's a legitimate thing people are dealing with, whereas this is just a 2-hour dick joke.
Yeah, like many many thousands of listens.
Yeah.
And we get a lot of comments like both through like iTunes and whatever all the other platforms are, and then the guy that sees them, he'll text them to me, and
Yeah.
it's a ton of positivity, and it's like that's kind of cool. Like something I kind of made in some, but at least had a very large hand in making is A, getting traction, and B, nothing but positive support.
Yeah.
Which is good because when you sit here and listen to the kinds of stories I've had to listen to, you need a little positivity after that. Like, I needed a hug after our last recording. I was like, yeah.
Yeah. No, I can see how that. Because, I mean, yeah. Like, you might hear a story that's going to, like, piss you off. You want to punch a hole in the fucking wall. Just from hearing the story.
Yeah, pretty much. Like,
Eventually, you hit a point where that doesn't do that anymore.
I was actually pretty good, but the last one we did, so one of the questions we ask, like there's like 5 sort of boilerplate questions, and then there's always questions that come up, but there's 5 that we like make sure we ask.
Can we ask us those questions one episode, or is that like a copyright infringement
No,
issue?
because the listener never hears the questions. It's you only ever hear the person answering the questions. But we asked this girl what her rock bottom was, which is a consistent question. And it was like repeated rock bottoms from the age of 12 until current day. And it was 48 minutes. And it wasn't like just half-assed, like, and I was sad. It was very detailed, why she felt that way, who traumatized her, how they traumatized. 48 minutes of that. By the time I got to the end, and then we just like kind of quickly worked through the last few. We cut it off, and I was just like, it's gonna take me weeks before I'm ready to even listen back to this to edit it down.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that I even have the capacity to go through that again because it was fucked up. It's like, wow, that is an awful life. Like, she's way better than she was personally, but like to talk about and hear like very detailed descriptions of like, and then this person did this to me and in this way, and that affected, like, it was so fucking perfectly detailed that it was just like, fuck, I am not a therapist.
Yeah.
It fucked me up for sure.
I think I wouldn't say you have to have a memory for goldfish, but I think it would probably help if you were a therapist. You know what I mean?
Oh, right, to just completely check that shit at the door.
Yeah.
No, it would help for what James does, but if you're a therapist,
Yeah.
they actually take notes. That way they can keep track of what you're discussing and not discussing.
Yeah.
Like, if they just forgot and you had to start over from scratch every week, people would fucking shoot therapists.
Yeah.
This
I
is
mean,
true.
like, that's why the note thing, I understand that. But as far as, like, it's one of those things you don't bring your work home with you.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
every therapist goes and sees another therapist.
This is 100% true.
Wouldn't doubt it.
And I feel like only them and chiropractors really hook that up like that. You know what I mean?
Yes, I agree. I don't think there's, I feel like most doctors, when they start like their own private practice of, being just like a primary care physician, immediately want another doctor to work with them. So it's like, you do me, I do you.
Yeah.
Cool. We're set. Let's move along.
I like that. It makes it seem like doctors are just 69 each other in a closet when there's no patients in there.
It's Grey's Anatomy, man.
Right? Like every doctor's show ever.
Doctor, meet
If
me.
you're a doctor, would you date a doctor?
I mean,
I don't think so.
Where else would you meet someone?
that's a hard one. It's sustain a relationship. Sustain one. Because as a doctor, you've probably got some wacky-ass hours of work. You have to.
It's true.
Yeah. So,
But I don't think that there's a tremendous value, at least in my experience. Okay, this can be not the same for everybody, but I think that too many people have a superficial connection based on working in the same place. And then all you do when you're not in that place is also talk about the place where you work. You talk about the work that you do.
yeah.
The nice thing about being with somebody that does something different than you and in a different place than you is you can only talk so much. You don't get too trapped in bringing it home
Yeah.
you know, the potential is less and less. It's
Yeah.
like you come home and you're just like, how was your day? Great. Your day sucked. Explain why it sucked.
Yeah.
You work through the emotional reaction thereof as opposed to like, and then Timmy did this. It's like, I don't know, Timmy. Like, you know, and so that for you, it's like, yeah, vent on me. And then also let's go do something else. Like, we don't have that common ground that defines our relationship. It's also why I've never dated anybody I've worked with, ever.
I did once. Comedy. Does comedy count as that? Then 3 times.
Yeah.
Okay, so 3 times in comedy. Oh no, twice in comedy, once in an actual work situation.
Was it dating or was it just
Yeah.
like fucking?
The restaurant when we were dating for about a month, but it was like one of those like this is like, it's like it's like a picture of like, imagine like a jumbo jet taking off, and as it's like ascending and and going into the air, the engines are already on fire, like that. That's kind of what the relationship was with her.
Have you ever had a relationship that started with a coworker that lasted more than 6 months?
Fuck no. I haven't had a relationship even last more than fucking 2 weeks, let alone 6 months. I mean,
And that's because
that's the problem. That's going back to what I said about the other shit. I can't make, I can't make it fucking work with anybody. It's a fucking pain in the ass. Like I've never had, you know what I'm saying? Like it's to the point where like I'm like, am I ever gonna fucking date somebody ever again? Like, you know what I'm saying? Or am I just destined to like these random bolt of lightning hookups that I get once every fucking 2 years? You know what I mean? Like, that's
You know what you got to work on? And I hate to sound generic when I say this. You're aware of everything that happened.
Yeah.
What you got to do now is forgive her. Like, even if you never actually talk to her,
Yeah.
just fucking forgive her.
Yeah.
And then forgive yourself.
Boom. All right, fair enough. I will work on that.
Seriously, because there's nothing you can do to go back and change anything, period.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, it's what's done. Actually, it's for the better.
And then you have to remember that this was, 10 years ago?
Longer than that. Yeah.
Are you anywhere near the same person you were then?
No,
Is it fair to assume that she has also grown as a person?
probably.
So you're mad at something that doesn't even exist anymore.
Yeah. I'm not mad at it. I'm just like,
No, you are. You're very mad at it because that ideal betrayed you.
yeah, oh yeah.
The ideal that she was supposed to be your wife, and she betrayed you.
Yeah.
You're still angry at that moment in time. You're not mad at her now today. You don't even probably, I'm assuming, know what the fuck she does or lives in at this point.
No idea.
Because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're mad at a moment in time that you can't change.
Yeah.
And I dare say, you could potentially one day run into her, and you'd probably just be like, "Oh, hey, what's up? Good, yeah," and walk away.
Probably.
It would be a very cordial, like whatever kind of interaction. But it's like I think you would be the one that would just be like, you know what, this is fucking awkward because we're
Yeah.
not like she's right. You just go up and be like, "Hey, how you doing? You doing good?
Yeah.
Cool. It's good to see you. Have fun tonight." And just now, this isn't a thing. It isn't
Yeah.
like she's right over there.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
You know,
yeah,
you wouldn't have that energy. And so think about that in life. Is
Yeah.
like right now you're at the point where it's like she's still somehow at the same party as you, and you're not going and like making that not an issue.
Yeah. I'm not. So like right after it happened, right? I'm at a Burger King in like in Summersworth, the town that I lived in. I'm in a Burger King, and I'm filling my cup up with soda. I turn around and I see one of her friends and this other friend of my ex-wife's, and they're like doing the whole like that. So I just walk over. I'm like, "Hey, what's going on? How you doing?" And they were like, they never thought in a million years I went over to say hello, and they were just like, well, I'm good, I guess. I'm like, "Hey, that's great. Listen, I'm gonna go. I just want to say hey, and just then I walked there, and they were fucking stunned.
Do you know how disarming that is?
It was hilariously
because
disarming.
people are like, "Oh God, he's gonna see us," or like, "Oh,
Yeah.
you know," it's like, "Oh, hey, how you guys doing? Still doing
Yeah.
good?
Yeah.
Right on." And then
then
they're just
just
like,
out the
"Oh,
fucking
that's
door.
like." There was no like anger or no
Yeah.
like, "Oh, he wouldn't even look at us," and it's like no one said. He's like, "Yeah, he came up, said hi, walked away."
Yeah.
There's not
Yeah.
a negative in this
But
this
the
point.
look-
You
yeah.
did it because you kind of probably in the moment wanted to be like, "Fuck you, I'm right here."
Yeah, kind
But,
of, yeah.
but at the end of the day, like the
Yeah.
perception of that is like, oh, he doesn't
Yeah.
he's not holding that grudge. That's like the way it's perceived.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to use the term optics anymore.
Yeah. I don't know. But, because I'm in a dry fucking spell, man. So.
Oh, but anyways, what I was getting to before James started just giving you unnecessary analogies. You're gonna hit a point where like the thought of her that moment no longer angers you, and then that will allow you to trust whoever it is that you have a hard time trusting.
Yeah.
Like once you can let go of the anger from that moment, that is no longer like driving the fight or flight part of your brain that allows you to blow off red flags and then just bail at the first sign of anything inconvenient.
Yeah, it's true.
And I only say that as knowing it from personal experience.
Yeah. What's up?
Nothing.
I thought there was like a comment we had.
No.
We haven't got any comments lately. What the fuck?
No one cares.
Oh, man.
Anthony from work, formerly of
Oh,
work,
yeah.
You watched most of the first hour.
Oh, really?
Where is he now? What have you done for me lately?
Yeah.
Oh, somebody I haven't seen a comment from. There's comments are coming through one place and not the other. Sorry. So if I'm not seeing this, it's because I wasn't looking at the right of the many screens.
What?
Justin Lee.
Okay.
Isn't he the one that came to the party?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said, so did COVID limit or lower the amount of friends you have? Think that is common for everybody. I don't think that COVID did
No.
that to me.
No, it didn't do it to me
Because
either.
I didn't stay locked in my house.
Yeah.
None of us did.
No.
I did it when I had to.
I never did, man. I was just out in the world the whole time. I don't give a fuck.
Well, I did get sick. And so I
And
had
I
to
get
stay.
that.
But so
Same.
it was like 10
Yeah.
days out of the last, 400 and some. My life didn't measurably change other than I have to wear a mask. And for a while there, the buses weren't running, so I had to walk to work. That's about it. That's the way
Were the buses not running due to rioting or due to COVID?
Right at first, they sort of shut the buses down, and they made it so like 4 people could be on a bus. So it's like, if you're taking the Colfax bus, it was like, why bother? They closed one of these lines. So I was like, fuck, it takes me 40 minutes to walk to work. I'll just fucking walk to work. It's not a big deal. And it's a relatively flat walk. You know, it's not like I got to go up hills and shit like that. So fine with me, but literally the only things I experienced in the lockdown is I walked to work for a few weeks and I have to wear a mask. And other than that, I don't think my life is measurably different than it was before all of this.
Aside from finances, for me personally.
Yeah, well, your line of work is very dependent on things being open. Apparently my line of work with a couple of contract issue like gigs is grossly benefited from the fact that everything was closed.
Yeah.
Like in insane ways.
No,
So-
I get that.
Never would have thought that would have come through, but
Yeah.
hey, whatever.
Oh, James has got lice. I saw him itch his head.
Certainly do. I keep them as pets. Wait, a girl pisses me off or doesn't shave quite right. I just go like this.
Dude, I had that shit.
Now you got crabs, bitch.
You ever fight your lice with your crabs? 'Cause they're not the same thing.
They're the same genus, but not the same species.
I mean, you ever fight your dog with your wolf?
I mean, I'm here for it.
There you go, man. Fight your lice with your crabs.
You think the
bud.
crabs would win?
I don't know, man. They're used to a much smaller playing field. Lice are just airborne.
Lice or not? Are they air? No.
I mean, not airborne, but you know how easy it is to spread lice through an elementary school?
yeah, you go like this next to your neighbor.
Done. That's
Yeah.
basically airborne.
I mean, that's how fucking crabs get spread, but you're usually wearing a hat on them until the rare instance that they come into contact with some other pubes.
yeah, but like, how often are you scratching your junk in front of your neighbors, James?
all the time.
Like,
It's the same.
literally, multiple times a day.
Uh,
I can't keep my hand out of there.
Are you serious? You're just being a smart ass.
No, I need to peel my balls off of the inside of my thigh on a
You don't
fairly
go
regular
to the
basis.
bathroom or anything civilized. You just jam your hand down to your stink crotch and pull your nuts out.
Sometimes, if I'm wearing shorts, I go up.
But what about washing your hands after diddling your sweat nuts?
I'm sorry, wash my what?
Hands?
Oh, huh.
no,
How
I just
are
like-
you retracting your nuts back, James? Are you using the force?
He does the proper thing and he starts a high five contest.
Like, I get having to rearrange my nuts, man. I have, as doctors have quoted, an exceptional amount of scrotum. But you know what? I wash my hands before and after I touch my genitals. You know why? Keeps my genitals clean.
Yeah, fair. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
If you're just jamming your gross half-beer warehouse fucking work hands into your junk every day, that's why your dick hurts. It's not because you jack off too much. It's because you're creating an unsavory environment. Next time you got to rearrange your nuts, go wash your hands. Do it with clean hands. Fuck, give your nuts a quick Irish bath and keep going. But don't just fucking jam your hand up the bottom of your shorts and grab your nuts around and go back to work. People touch what you touch, James.
Fair. Yeah, no,
Now,
I
everyone that
definitely
works
do.
in that beer cooler's had your nut DNA all over them.
Oh, great. Fucking great.
And knowing you, there's probably ranch on it.
I mean,
What?
why ranch?
You weren't here when he
Yes.
wanted to have the ranch drink.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
I'm never going to drop that. That's the grossest shit I've ever heard. And I was married to a crazy woman, and I raised 2 kids.
Was that the same conversation where you said that potatoes suck?
No. That was the first time the ranch came up, it was just you and me. And I was so appalled that I brought it up again when it was you, me, Hamill, and your friend.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's when I had to, like, just set you guys straight on potatoes being unnecessary bullshit starch. It's not a comfort food. It just makes you feel fat.
Makes me feel delicious.
It
I
makes-
love potatoes.
Makes me
They
feel.
don't taste like anything, James. They taste like whatever you apply them to. You get the same effect just eating butter, cheese, and bacon bits.
Also, I heard an urban legend. I don't know if this is true or not. I think it's true, but I could be wrong. That inside of those like fucking warm up pies that fucking McDonald's sells, you know those chunks. That's potato. Not apple. That's potato.
That would make sense.
Yeah. So
I mean,
yeah,
fair argument.
but yeah, that's
Sorry, I have to turn off my mic to fucking move it. Otherwise
That's
it'll
gross.
blow everybody's
yeah.
fucking ears out.
Well, I mean, like you're saying, like it just adapts to whatever you fucking surround it with. So you surround it with that
Yeah.
with that jet.
Surrounded with that much cinnamon and sugar.
Yeah, it's gonna taste like that.
It's the same consistency.
It comes up.
Yeah. Is that yay or nay?
It's
I don't know. It's a fucking
unclear.
blog.
Uh-oh. Library answer
This is
person.
Duke.
Do.
So not. The question is, does McDonald's put potatoes in their apple pie? Not according to the listing of ingredients at their website, unless some of those Greek words mean potato. The starch product in the delectable crust is based on wheat and thickener, which honestly, the thickener can oftentimes be potato starch.
Oh, really? Aha! Show me potato.
Show me potatoes.
Yeah, but who's actually eating McDonald's apple pies? Like, when's the last time you had one of
Oh,
those?
years. I haven't ate at McDonald's in fucking at least over a year. I can't.
I had it about 6 months ago once
Yeah.
when everyone came out with a new chicken sandwich.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I saw a picture for the new McDonald's chicken sandwich, and I was like, all right, that looks tasty. I'll try it. And I regretted it.
Yeah. Like, I eat fast food now, and I hate myself immediately. I don't know why. So I should stop doing it.
Well, I still fucks with it.
The only fast food I will fuck with is once in a while Good Times because it's kind of near my house.
Dude, I love Burger King. That is my jam.
I can't do Burger King no more.
Flame broiled patties, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Whopper's still like a top 5 fast food burger for me.
It is for me.
You know what I
just-
really appreciate is the sourdough king.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Oh, really?
I've had that.
Because like the sourdough Jack in the Box,
Fire.
that's also top 5.
No,
Because
yeah.
I'll just go
I
buy like
do,
3
and
of those
I have a
and
Jack
house
in the
shit
Box
of 'em.
closer to me than anything when I'm at home.
I wish there was the closest one is like fucking way up Vasquez.
Yeah, and I used to go to it all the time.
Yeah. You and I, when we were at the I'd be like, oh, you're going? Like, here's money. Bring me back sourdough Jacks.
Yeah.
Like, bring me back 2.
It is legitimately the closest fast food restaurant to my current dwelling.
Jack in the Box?
By far.
Wow.
So back in the late 70s, before labeling was required on fast food products, McDonald's did use potatoes in their pies because it was cheaper. Then the labeling laws changed, requiring them to label all of the contents, after which they changed the content to apples, but it's really just like citric, blah, 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 however they have to define that. So, yes, at one point, yes. It
Okay.
doesn't sound like that's a today thing.
Is it like when Coke had cocaine in it type of thing?
Potentially.
Yeah.
I wish I could have been around. Like when they do time travel, I'd love to go back to like the 1900s for like a weekend and just do like cocaine cough syrup for a weekend.
Just reminded me.
Well, Doc, I think I got ghosts in my blood. Oh, here, have some cocaine and some morphine.
you,
Go through the fucking Sears robot catalog and buy yourself a heroin set.
I need a Model T and a Tommy gun.
you just reminded me, one of the stories that I came across in the last couple days that just usually fun for this show, and I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but the headline was bizarre things people believed 50 years ago. Some of them are what you would expect, but there's a couple that I really wanted to key in on because
What do you got?
just shake the fat off. Do you remember like that like band that would go around and just like do like fucking vibrate you for an hour? Like that apparently was going to get rid of fat. That was one.
So that doesn't work?
No, it just gyrates the fat. It doesn't actually burn it or melt it. It just shakes it.
Okay.
It kind of makes you look fatter because at least when you're not shaking it, it goes to places.
True.
Yeah.
Maybe they're just trying to shake it down your legs so that you'd still have like a solid like upper body with just fat legs,
Cankles.
right? Drunk driving was thought of as a rite of passage.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
You could just bring your gun to school.
Yeah.
Like kids would do that.
Yeah.
My dad gave me my 22 today.
Yeah.
That one I was just like, what? I had to.
Dude, that doesn't even go that far back. I remember when I was in elementary school in Iowa, it was one building, K through 12, like spread out across this big building or whatever. And there would be like kids like in the high school age, like drove themselves to school with a gun rack with a rifle in the back window. Just like 5 or 6 of them in the parking lot. No one gave a shit.
Right, because they assumed parents taught them what to do with it. That's just life. Airline stewardesses had to be hot because being hot was literally in the job description. You were allowed to just be disqualified. You're not pretty enough for this. Like that's like aces high when he's like,
It's like
weighing them all.
the Hooters of the sky.
Yeah. What an overrated piece of shit fucking chain restaurant that is. Hooters?
Why?
Because it's just lame. It's like,
Why?
because they're dressed like 1980s jazzercise idiots.
Yeah, they do wear the leggings.
Yeah, that, and it's just the wings are fucking trash. Like, it's just, it's not.
The wings used to be good.
Their breaded wings gave me diarrhea, man.
Why are you eating breaded wings?
That's what they
gross.
offered. It was I was in Virginia. That's all they had. That or
I
barbecue.
imagine everything in Virginia is gross. First off,
Probably.
I've been to a Hooters as recently as the last 6 months, and those women, like, I get that people think that they're like almost borderline sex workers, but if you're a cute chick that doesn't want to show your tits and vagina at a strip club, you can make a killing at Hooters.
Oh, absolutely. That's not my point. The point is like,
But
it's-
if they
yeah.
want to work there, just because you don't appreciate it doesn't mean it shouldn't exist.
No.
Hooters isn't for you.
Yeah.
Hooters is for guys like me trying to bond with someone else's son because they're of that age and I happen to be the guy that they're dating.
Yeah.
I take that kid to Hooters just to figure out if he's gay or straight so I know how to approach from there. That's what Hooters is for.
Yeah.
Hooters is for grandma to take her grandson when he turns 18. She takes him to Hooters, slips him a shooter in the parking lot because she drove. And then she's like, how cute are these girls? That's what Hooters is for. Hooters isn't for you to go eat wings and watch a UFC fight. That's what a bar is for.
Yes.
Hooters is about a rite of passage that no longer applies to you.
Fair enough. That's why I don't like it. That's why it's not for me. I don't
And
like it.
I appreciate and accept that. But to just damnate it in general because it's not for you isn't fair.
Nah,
There are people that need Hooters both to be employed at and to have awkward dinner at. Hooters is the fucking Olive Garden of the trailer park community.
Fair. That I agree with. That I agree with completely.
Unmarried women aren't responsible enough to have credit cards.
I agree.
I mean, you say that, but my sister had like an 800 credit score.
I was just fucking around.
No, it's wild to me. Like,
Yeah.
It wasn't weird to put vegetables and tuna fish in Jell-O.
Ew.
I do remember that as a kid being like, what the fuck are you doing to Jell-O?
Yeah.
Because I remember, like, as a little kid, anytime you saw Jell-O, it had fruit in it.
Yeah.
That was just how
Yes.
everything worked as a little kid. And then I was like 7 or 8 one time, and I was like, oh, Jell-O, pfft, oh, Jell-O, pfft, oh, Jell-O. Pfft. And that third Jell-O had, like, peas and ham and something else gross in it. And I was like, what the actual fuck is going on? But like, they flavored the Jell-O like some kind of black licorice almost.
Yes.
And I'm like, dude, why would you make the grossest flavored Jell-O ever and then fill it with chunks of ham and peas?
So there's actually a culinary tradition there that goes back to long before there was Jell-O. Is you in the Victorian era, one of the well-known dishes is you would take pig's feet and you'd boil the shit out of them to get what is fundamentally gelatin to make these like meat forms. So it would look like a clear Jell-O with like meat and shit in it. It was considered like, cuisine of the day. So when Jell-O first hit the market, I believe in the late 30s,
Yeah.
that's like kind of the trajectory they were on. It was an easy way to make something that, because boiling the pig's feet and shit, that was like an all-day affair to make this one fucking dish.
I can't do Jell-O. My stomach is just, I don't like it.
What about Jell-O shots?
I don't like them either. It's a texture thing, and my stomach doesn't like them either. It gets all riled up over it. I don't know what it is. I
I love a good Jell-O shot.
I can't do Jell-O.
I don't fuck with Jell-O shots because I don't drink, but Jell-O's my jam.
All right, fair
I
enough.
love
But
Jell-O.
like, I can't. My
That's
stomach.
one of my favorite things about going to the Chinese buffet is there's going to be like 4 flavors of Jell-O.
Oh, fuck yeah. You're 100% right.
So I like the soft serve ice cream machines that they always have there. Like, for some
Dude,
reason.
throw some soft serve ice cream on some Jell-O.
Oh no.
Change your life. It's
No, it
Jell-O
just-
a la mode.
My stomach just goes like it like turns inside out, and like I start just fucking my
You
stomach.
don't go to a buffet not expecting that.
That's
No,
true. Especially a Chinese buffet.
Correct.
No, no, it's been a while, but I just don't like fucking Jell-O. I just don't like it. It's not for me. It's not for me.
All right.
I'm more of a pudding man myself.
I get it. Fuck guacamole.
Fuck